Alright everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 55, the show where I cover everything Apple, go over the stories of the previous week or the past few days, give you my thoughts on it, get your thoughts on it, whether that be by comments in this comment section below or on iTunes or video responses, all are welcome. Before getting started, I would appreciate if you can check out igear.com. It's alright if you can't purchase anything, I would still appreciate your support. You might be wondering, hey, how do I support you? It's simple, go onto the page, click on the tweet button, Facebook, Google+, use the social media links and share it on your social networks. That would be more than enough and I would love you forever and ever. Here are some of the testimonials for the garments themselves and they speak for it themselves. The world's #1 airsoft YouTuber, fantastic. Legendary comments by him, he loves his. Final Cut King. There's Brian from Indonesia who wrote this fantastic blog as well. We've got Tom. These are some of the many on the website, so do check them out and I'm sure you guys will not be disappointed. First story this week is iPad 3 shipments are well underway. This image pretty much sums it up. Supposedly on this plane is cargo for Apple heading to the United States. Specifically, there are 3 major airports in the United States where these planes are landing. And the freight company in China has been specifically given instructions as to how to keep the cargo secure. It's an unusual request by an American company. Hint hint, who could that be? Apple are kind of good in that respect. And this website has leaked many details in the past in terms of images of the chipsets. And I guess an iPad 3, we all know the rumours are intensifying day by day and it can only mean one thing, the iPad 3 is coming next month. The 7th is the rumoured date when something is going to be announced. Whether availability is going to be effective immediately or whether it's going to be a week late, who knows. I'm hoping, secretly hoping, it's going to be on the actual day, the 7th, but I don't think it is going to be. I think they're going to do pre-orders for the iPad 3, even although they didn't have pre-orders for the iPad 2, but I can see them doing pre-orders and then shipping the next week. It would be kind of bad if the US gets it only in the first 2 weeks and then the rest of the countries get it like end of the month. I do hope other countries, specifically the UK, get it at the same time as the US, and hopefully wherever you are in Europe or wherever, Far East, you get it at the same time. Heck, if you're in Hong Kong or China where the bloody things are made, it is kind of sad that you get it at the end because they are made there anyway. So I guess all you people who made the wise decision in not opting for an iPad 2 or an iPad 1 at Christmas are going to be extremely happy now that iPad 3 is around the corner. Next up, dock connectors for iDevices, and this is what I mean by dock connectors for those of you who don't know what a dock connector is. It's remained the same for the past couple of years. It's kind of large and you would have thought Apple, you know, they would have changed something, especially when Thunderbolt was announced. There are rumours, or rumour has appeared that the next generation of iPhone is going to include a smaller dock connector, possibly half the size of it. Whether it's going to be something, you know, super fast in charging your device, that is yet to be known. Could it be Wi-Fi charging? That'd be pretty cool, but whatever it is, we all know Apple, when they do bring something out, they are going to make it big or make it that extra special for us to opt for it. It's not going to be micro USB simply for the fact that the transfer speeds on a micro USB are too slow. But the way it's heading, the way I'm thinking, you know, they made a big hoo-ha about Thunderbolt, so we could see a 2-in-1 where transfer speeds are amazing, so is the charging time, which I find annoying when I charge this bad boy on that because it takes ages. Apple have acquired a startup called Chomp. They do this time to time where they acquire a small startup or something that they find really interesting. Whether they do something with it or not, they just buy it out anyway. And this sounds promising because the CEO of that startup is now working at Apple, and supposedly the reason why Apple bought this is to make the iTunes and the Mac App Store a bit more user friendly. Basically what this means is Apple is looking to enhance the user experience, the speed, the efficiency of trying to find applications, music, videos, podcasts and so on the iTunes App Store. It's not too bad at the moment, but if they can make it better, hey, I'm not complaining, am I? If you own a Mac, you should check your software updates because there has been an EFI update out for most Macs and it addresses some security issues, some networking issues, some boot issues. And if you own an iMac, there's been a Wi-Fi update out as well which addresses reboots, restarts and dropping of signals, so it's well worth looking at. Is Microsoft Office coming for your iPad, iPod Touch, iPhone, iOS devices? Well, we'll find out in a few days' time. Over the last week there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of rumours, a lot of stories that Microsoft Office is finally making its way. Microsoft came clean and said, hang on, nothing is coming out for the iOS side, so take a chill pill. The Daily came out and said, hang on, we've tested Microsoft Office for the iPad, we've seen it. There is something, whether it actually develops into an actual software on iOS at launch, but there is something stirring up. And then Microsoft said the Daily is incorrect, all shall be revealed, or something along those lines pretty soon. So since then there's been speculation that Microsoft would get a spot on the stage of the iPad 3 launch. It'll be that one more thing why you should get an iPad, or what Apple tend to do in these kind of launches is bring on developers, bring on companies, and Microsoft Office, whether you like it or not, is a huge deal to bring in new customers. You know, people saying, oh, Office isn't on it as good as Pages and iWork is. Microsoft Office has always kind of held that upper spot. It'll be that oomph. It'll be that killer kind of deal so people can work on it and so on. So Apple really do want to make a huge thing out of it. Now it's interesting, right? Why would Microsoft do this, and why would Apple bring on Microsoft? Microsoft's long-term strategy could be, okay, we'll bring out Microsoft Office onto the iOS devices and have kind of a Metro look to it. And then that would kind of give people the experience of how Windows devices work, if that makes sense. So you can still have the tiling features like you do on the Windows mobile phones. So it could be that foot in the right direction for Microsoft, whereas Apple, they would want it simply because Microsoft Office is so well known in the market that people, it'd be that all-in-one device, you'd have everything on it. And last but not least, this is a mock-up of the next generation iPhone. It's a mock-up, it's not real. And if this is indeed the real deal come the iPhone 5 or the iPhone S, 4S, the second, whatever, I will gladly move on to a Windows Mobile or BlackBerry or whatever. No thanks, I do not want one of these as a mobile phone. No thank you, Apple. I shall stick to something else. But that is it, guys, for this week in Apple. It has been kind of dry, other than iPad 3 stuff like we have for the past 10 weeks. It's just constant iPad 3. There's been nothing on the MacBook Pro, Mac Mini, iMacs, Mac Pro front. A lot of people have been asking in every Apple Weekly pretty much, oh, what's happening with the iMacs? I don't know. And when I do, you'll find out here. There's been nothing on it. All we know at the moment is Ivy Bridge is going to be released in April, and that is a good point on when Apple will refresh their devices, specifically the Mac side of things. So yeah, I guess we will have to wait it out, but I guess in the next 2 to 3 to maybe 4 weeks we will see retailers running out of stock of the current generation Macs, or they'll be kind of discontinuing it or putting on clearance, making way for the new stock. So that really is it. If you have any comments, anything you'd like to add, ask, leave it in the comments below. Again, guys, I would very much appreciate it if you can support igear.com. Head over, check it out. If you don't like it or whatever, you have your reasons, and you know, I respect that. If you could just support it by tweeting out, sharing it, whatever, that'd be absolutely awesome of you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.